This is the iSpring whole house water filter system, model WGB32B. My first impression was simple. It looks and feels like real plumbing gear, not a gadget. 3 big 20-inch canisters hang under a steel bracket, and the whole thing has that install it once and trust it vibe. It's long and tall, around 24 by 8 by 28 inches, and heavy enough that I had to plan where it would live. In my opinion, anyone expecting a compact under-sink unit will be surprised by the footprint. This is made for the main line. Key features that mattered to me are the 1-inch NPT inlet and outlet, the 20 by 4.5-inch big blue filters, and the 3-stage layout, a 5-micron sediment filter up front, followed by 2 coconut shell carbon block cartridges. The specs say up to 15 gallons per minute and roughly 100,000 gallons of capacity, and that matches what I felt day to day. My water pressure stays strong with multiple fixtures running, and I'm not noticing the system as a bottleneck. From my experience, the large housings and 1-inch ports are the reason the pressure stays consistent. I put this on a plywood backer that I anchored into studs because the weight jumps once the housings are full of water. I installed a simple 3-valve bypass loop so I can isolate the system for service or swing it out of the loop if something fails. I took my time sealing the 1-inch threads. Plastic housings and metal fittings don't like to be over-tightened, so I used plenty of Teflon tape plus a dab of pipe dope, tightened by hand, and only a small wrench turn to finish. When I first turned it on, I flushed the cold line hard through a bathtub spout. The water ran black for several minutes from carbon dust. That's normal with new carbon blocks, and I didn't let any of that enter the water heater or clog a faucet aerator. The day the chlorine smell vanished was the day I knew this was working. Showers stopped smelling like a pool, coffee tasted cleaner, and the odd metallic bite I used to notice from the kitchen tap went away. The water still has minerals in it, which I like. This isn't a reverse osmosis system, so it doesn't strip TDS, and that's actually a plus for whole house use. I wanted chlorine reduction, better taste and odor, and less crud in appliances and faucet aerators. That's what I'm getting. The carbon blocks are third-party tested against NSF ANSI standards, and that gives me confidence that the claims about chlorine and VOC reduction aren't just marketing. I added pressure gauges on the inlet and outlet. A few dollars for gauges saves guessing. On day 1, I saw maybe a 1 to 2 psi drop. As the sediment filter loads up, the difference creeps up. When I see around 10 to 15 psi between the 2 gauges, I swap the sediment filter and the flow perks right back up. It's simple feedback you can actually use instead of relying on the calendar alone. Maintenance is not light, and I think it's fair to say that up front. Each sump is big and full of water when you open it. I keep a bucket handy, crack the red pressure relief buttons on top to vent air, and use the included wrench to break the seal. The wrench is short, so I focus on steady pressure, not brute force. I clean the housings with a mild bleach solution, rinse well, and always lubricate the O-rings with food-grade silicone grease. If you skip the grease, the next service can be a wrestling match. I hand-tighten the sumps and give them just a nudge with the wrench. Over-tightening is how you crack something or make your future self very unhappy. The cartridges come individually wrapped. I unwrap them right before they go in, so they stay fresh. From my experience, the most important thing to understand is what this system does and doesn't do. It reduces up to 99% of chlorine, taste, odor, and a bunch of common chemicals, and it traps sediment down to 5 microns. It does not soften water. If your hardness is high, you'll still get limescale on fixtures and inside the water heater. I run this before a separate softener, because hardness can shorten the life of carbon media and plug up plumbing. If you're on well water with microbes, you'd want to pair this with UV disinfection. If you need low TDS for drinking, that's when an RO system at the kitchen sink makes sense. For a whole house though, keeping the minerals while removing chlorine is the sweet spot. I've seen people worry about leaks, and honestly, I get it. Any big filter with O-rings and plastic caps can leak if you pinch an O-ring, cross-thread a sump, or crack a port by over-tightening a metal fitting. The pressure relief buttons can also weep if grit gets into the seat. I keep the area clean during service, don't jam the buttons repeatedly, and inspect the O-rings every time. The grease and a careful touch go a long way. I also avoid installing this where it can freeze or bake in sun. This belongs indoors on a solid wall. Customer support matters, and iSpring's been responsive. Registering the warranty was quick, and when I had a question about a seeping relief valve, I got clear answers and options fast. That level of support makes me more comfortable owning gear that needs regular maintenance. It's perfect for a family on municipal water who hates the chlorine smell, wants better tasting water at every tap, and needs strong flow for showers, laundry, and dishes all at once. I'd recommend this for anyone who has the space to mount a heavy unit, is comfortable with basic plumbing or willing to hire it out, and appreciates a system that favors capacity and simplicity over gimmicks. Key features that tip it for me are the 1-inch ports, the large 20-inch carbon blocks for longer contact time, the rugged steel bracket, and the fact that it doesn't produce wastewater like RO. In my opinion, the learning curve is worth it. The first install day took planning. The first filter change felt like a workout, and I spilled some water. After that, it settled into a routine. My gauges tell me when it's time, my showers smell neutral, my coffee tastes right, and my fixtures don't trap grit. That's what I wanted. In conclusion, the iSpring WGB32B feels like a dependable whole house backbone. It's not flashy, but it's solid and honest about what it does best. If you value low-maintenance cartridges with high capacity, clean-tasting water without chlorine, and full home coverage without killing pressure, this is a strong choice. If you need softening or microbiological treatment, plan those as add-ons. From my experience, living with it is straightforward once you respect the basics: solid mounting, good seals, proper flushing, and a little attention to the gauges. If you found this video helpful, hit subscribe and drop your questions or your own experience in the comments. Thank you for watching.